We'd come back from China, we'd had our first son. We were living in a beautiful flat which we had done some work to down the hill, and we actually wanted to stay there until our neighbours gave us a cot for when we had our second child, and we realised that there was no room for that cot, so we had to do something. Really liked the area. Yeah, we fortunately found this house, but in a really dilapidated state.
This is not, or certainly wasn't, a big house. It was 90 square metres, I think, when it was, in its original version. And it's a sequence of lots of small rooms, and that doesn't work well for the way a modern family coexists.
We were just going to expand into the roof and have 2 bedrooms up there with an ensuite. But in order to get the height space, it then involved having to put a wall up between what is now the kitchen and the sitting room. Before it had all been open planned.
Reinstating the spine wall of the house, which obviously gives it its stability and prevents it falling over. And in doing that, it obviously gave the house back the strength it used to have, which ultimately meant the structure for the loft floor didn't have to be as complex, and you could end up with more ceiling height in the loft. Once we'd kind of put that spine wall back in, it meant that we could go ahead and convert the loft. And obviously this is a semi-detached 1930s property, which has a hipped roof. So in order to convert the loft, you essentially have to build the end of the gable end up to create a normal sort of pitched roof. And then obviously you can apply for permission, although it's permitted development essentially, to add a dormer window onto the garden side of the property, which effectively creates the volume which you can then utilise for bedrooms and bathrooms. So that was the stage one, ultimately, to increase what was a sort of 2.5 bedroom house into a 4 double bedroomed with 2 bathroom house.
The second phase was then breaking down this wall between the kitchen and the dining room, and also the bathroom on the middle stage as well, and extending out.
The extension itself is only actually 3.5 metres off the back of the house. By combining that with the existing dining room and the existing kitchen, the result is this really big kind of multi-purpose family space, which is where 90% of the non-sleeping time of everyone in the house is spent.
We also included the mezzanine level as well, somewhere where the children could read. And we also have grand visions that one day we might be able to have a projector there and have that little fun space for us as well.
We first came up with the idea of putting it in there, and the big worry was, why would we want to constrain what was a really nice tall space? Because you don't tend to get double height spaces in many houses. So we spend a lot of time in the evenings down there working, and I think if you were always in that really tall big open space, you would feel quite exposed. But actually by creating the mezzanine level above it, and also by not having the sliding doors all the way across the whole back of the house, but actually having the brick built area with the corner window, it suddenly makes that whole office space feel a lot cosier. And obviously that's generated mainly by having the mezzanine above you. So ultimately it is a kind of steel frame that's then hidden behind the timber cladding. But that steel frame does cantilever so that it does have that kind of weightless feel to it, which I think was important as part of the design. It's just about having that space that means everybody can be together without stepping on each other's toes, doing all the things they want to do. We both work, so the time we do get to spend together is really important, and you do, like you say, you want to make sure that you're spending that time. You don't necessarily have to be engaging with each other on the same activity, but just being in the same space gives you a kind of much more fulfilled kind of feeling to spend that time together.